This is PMBA 5010 Quantitative Methods for Business. What I have here in this slide is the catalog description for this course. Now, there is a lot of stuff in here. I want to highlight what actually is the focus of this course is going to be. Okay, here it's going to be a computer-based quantitative methods class. So that's one point of emphasis that I want to make. Then effective business decisions. So computer-based quantitative analysis that supports effective business decisions. So that's the overarching objective of this class. Now, what are the specific topics that we will be covering? Well, here are the topics, and as you would see that these topics are topics that come under statistics. So we have descriptive statistics, then probability, then sampling distributions, and then analysis of variance, hypothesis testing, analysis of variance, and regression analysis. So these are all statistical topics. So we'll be covering lots of statistics in this class. And it also includes the description, the catalog description includes this sentence here, this phrase, Introduction to Forecasting and Quality Control. Well, in fact, we are not going to specifically talk about forecasting and quality control in the course, but there will be a lot of examples when we do hypothesis testing. It will be related to quality control, and when we discuss regression analysis, it's going to be very heavily into forecasting. So even though we will not be formally talking about forecasting as such or quality control as such, but we will be discussing these topics as part of some of the topics that we will be covering in statistics. And finally, Excel is going to be the primary tool of data analysis that we'll be using throughout this course. But there are some limitations in Excel because Excel is not a statistics software. It is a general purpose business analysis software. We will use a web-based statistical package that's available through through MyStatLab. So if you go to MyStatLab, you will see there is a tab called StatCrunch. I'll talk about that when we get to those topics. So if you click that StatCrunch, that will open up a web-based statistical software package, and we can get those specific things that we are unable to do in Excel through those. So mostly Excel, and then there is a little bit of StatCrunch that we will use from MyStatLab. So this is the general outline of the course. And so let's take a little look into this a little further. So this is going to be a kind of a business statistics class. So, and this is going to be one semester long. So usually business statistics is normally covered over 2 semesters where we go into all the details and everything in each topic. But this is going to be a 1 semester long course. So we're going to pick and choose the most important aspects that needs to be covered, and we will cover those topics. And this textbook very nicely fits into a 1 semester format. So this is what we're going to use. And first we're going to this is your textbook has a kind of a chapter 0, if you will, that talks about getting started, some basic stuff. So let's go over that now. Now before we get into that, let's look at a little quote here from Mark Twain. And here Mark Twain talks about statistics, and he actually attributes this quote to Disraeli, who was a prime minister in Great Britain a long time ago. So here is that phrase or sentence that he attributes to Disraeli. So that is, there are 3 kinds of lies. So there is lies, and there is damned lies, and then the worst of all is statistics. Because when you think about it, you may say, oh well, statistics is all bunk, it's all lies. But it is not actually that simple. What he's trying to say here, or the way we need to understand this, is statistics can be used to obscure the truth. So what appears to be true, but it is not actually telling the whole truth. So statistics can be used to submerge or take a situation and obscure what the truth is and make it appear as something else, and which is even worse than lying or even damned lies. And that's what he's trying to say, I think. So statistics, if it is done with the idea that we want to really understand what the data is saying, okay, and apply scientific concepts, okay, without any a priori biases, and all we are interested in is seeing what the data is telling us, then that's what statistics is. Statistics must be used in a way, okay, that is revealing and not obscuring. So when you use statistics to obscure, like some political campaigns do often, then it becomes worse than damn lies. Okay? But if you use it to understand the data and try to understand what the data is actually saying to you, then it is a very useful tool that can be applied for making effective decisions, effective business decisions. So that's what we need to be focusing on, trying to make sure that there are no biases. When we are starting out with the idea that whatever is the data is going to tell us, then that's what we are interested in, not trying to use the data for some a priori conclusions or opinions that we have already formed, and we want to try to fit the data to that opinion. Okay. That's not what we want to do. We want to look at the data, and then based on what the data is telling us, we want to form opinions.